Good evening, I'm Julie Chen.
Wake up, everybody!
But first,
I cannot. On my daughter's birthday. Disgusting. Anybody want cake?
I want to welcome you guys all to my big brother funeral.
I can't find an individual to hate, because I hate you all.
Welcome to Not Game, All Personal. Hey, we are a Big Brother podcast here talking about all things Big Brother, more specifically the events of this past week. I'm Nathan, this is Tony, and boy, oh boy, Tony, has it been a week of Big Brother.
It's got to be like the best week of Big Brother we've ever seen, right? Like, loved every second of it. Everything was phenomenal, right? Everybody's a huge fan of this season.
You know, all week, we don't talk a ton outside the pod, I think, partly intentionally, right? Save our big takes. We texted a little bit, a few little updates because there was a lot of question marks. Things were revealed. All week, I was just wondering, what are Tony's actual thoughts? And I don't know if I'm going to hear them because I can't tell if you're just going to be continuing commit the bit the entire time, if this is how you're actually going to feel. But I am beyond curious to hear your thoughts, whether or not they are sincere. Let me just say that.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. My thoughts specifically on the Rachel, if I imagine.
Yes. So this week, I'm going to say an infamous week, okay? That's how I'm going to describe it.
Certainly. Yeah.
Is it also fair to say pretty poorly received? I'm not saying universally.
Certainly.
But I feel like this puts you at a tough situation because on one hand, the person you do not enjoy is gone. However, I'm curious if your Big Brother morals will counter that feeling. So let's just start there. How do you feel about this twist?
Listen, am I upset that Rachel is out of the house? Generally, just out of the house, not necessarily. This twist sucks. The fact that you can get out of the house without having, like, I think there was some social play to it, but this isn't a game where you lose because you lost a competition. It's a game because you don't, like, it's always been votes. I can't think of another circumstance other than injury, really, or the, like, random immediate twist, like, what's her name from 14, and maybe, I don't know, maybe
like
Cameron
night
from
night
19.
one first boot twist.
Yeah, those, it's like, that still sucks for sure. But to be this deep in the game, and she was playing a very good game, and to just get eliminated sucks. And that's absolutely the case.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to lead with that. I definitely feel that way. I think there's a lot of... I'm not even going, like, I'm not going to zag now. I think there's a lot of interesting conversations around the, like, nature of the competition in which it happened, because I thought that was interesting. The stakes being you get kicked out of the house sucked, but the way that it revealed people's motives and what they were going to do and the conversations that happened, I think were interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'll lead off there. It sucks. I mean,
no,
am I the most upset I've ever been? Not necessarily, but it's awful. Like, I wouldn't want anybody to go out like that.
Yeah, I think, well, and I actually do agree with you about the actual mechanics of the competition itself, because when I was watching the episode, I was like, I hate that I'm kind of into this. Like, it was actually really compelling television, and like I always say, the more that we can incorporate these social elements into the competitions themselves, the better. And I think this is exactly what I want to see with competitions. But you're right, the stakes, like, that's it. Great idea. I love the trying to weigh out, like, do I even want to be picked? Do I want to be picked sooner or later? What's the order, the chain here? It's also interesting. But, like, have this be loser gets the third nomination spot, Have it something like that. Because, like, I absolutely agree with pretty much, like, as far as I've seen, very few people pro this twist, but like this is a social game. Like that's what it's supposed to be. You are supposed to be able to save yourself by your social game. Do competitions matter? Yes, especially in this new era of Big Brother, absolutely. But like you should never be eliminated because you can't win a competition. And
Yeah.
it's hard to like. I don't want to be. A lot of people I think have been like really over the top with like this is going to change the future of Big Brother. I don't know about that. Like if this is now a known twist moving forward, like if this becomes a staple where it's like the first member of the jury will be eliminated by competition, like maybe people will adjust to that. I don't love it though. I think like that's my thing is like I have other shows for that.
Yeah.
Like it's called The Challenge. Like that's what that show is. Like I
Mhm.
don't watch Big Brother for the competitions. In fact, most of the times if I know the winner, I will. I didn't watch BB Comics. I'll admit it. I didn't watch it this week.
Oh,
I
the only thing I stopped for was to see the injury that Will had that just I don't think they talked about or showed on the show ever.
they
Because he
did
busted
not.
up his leg pretty bad, and they just never referenced it. And I think just hope he got evicted, so they didn't have to talk about it. Which
Uh-huh.
spoiler alert,
Yeah.
that happened, but that's what it felt like. I was stunned.
I didn't even watch that. I didn't care, because like I don't
Yeah.
need to see them zipping around. It's like, what's the difference? What's like I don't care, especially because I know the outcome. So, but if the competition is going to have a social element to it, because like once they started doing the what was it called? White Locust?
White Locust.
White Locust. What an unoriginal. Like it's
They're
not
just pulling
even
from everything. Like,
it's not even on theme with like murder mystery. I guess people do get
no,
murdered
it's
in
what's popular.
White
Well,
Lotus, but
White Lotus has some element of that to it.
I
maybe.
guess, but they
Not
didn't
mystery necessarily.
no. But like once it started playing out, I was like, "Oh, I actually want to watch this." Like even though I already knew the order of where people were getting picked, even though like the conversations in between, seeing how like that is an interesting competition. So more of that, less of the consequences of just straight up elimination because and like here's the thing. It is absurd that I do kind of agree with the take that people wouldn't have been upset if this would have been someone like, Kelly or even Ava or Vince, I do think, especially like a lot of the Big Brother alumni, they're especially peeved about it because it is Rachel, like one of their own. I do agree with that. But
Yeah.
what a fumble on Big Brother. Like you couldn't
Oh,
rig this
yeah.
a little bit? Like you bring back a 3-time player, a previous winner who, I mean like undeniably maybe the best social game she's ever had. Like she was running this house and not in the same annoying way that we've seen like let's say Paul do.
Yeah.
Like playing a pretty good game whether or not you like or dislike her and just all thrown away. To me, I think this is more concerning for the future of previous house guests coming back to play because like if you're a newbie, you're just going to do anything to get the chance to get in the house, right? But like if you're a previous player,
Yeah.
like a lot of them don't want to do it again. It's a big commitment. They already did it. They're done. How are you going to convince anyone to come play the game again knowing that like, oh, I could just go out like this? That doesn't sound very exciting to me.
Yeah. Absolutely. But like, so part of me that's like, unless it's a full returner season, though, is at the end of the world that we won't have because I don't love the like solo return coming back to the season.
Sure.
I think there's been some decent seasons where that's happened. There's been some seasons that obviously aren't good that's happened. It's definitely a mixed bag, but I don't know that I love it. I don't think that it's my favorite thing. Maybe it's the people they pick. That could be part of it. Hand up. Now, obviously, so we established it sucks. We both feel that way. I think I would have felt that with about the same anger level. I think I would have felt regardless of who it was. It doesn't just because I don't love Rachel, so I don't have that like extra anger that she got screwed over. Obviously, man, she really fumbled on that challenge.
It was bad.
Like she went in
It was real
getting
bad.
chosen. knowing that she being told that it was easy, and then watching her move the ball back and forth when it needed to go up, and just like, oh my gosh, like she doesn't know what she's doing with this. Like it was just it was reminiscent of Caitlyn when she had that opportunity to come back and had a 5-piece puzzle.
Yeah.
And was just like, I can't do it. Except Rachel seemed locked in more. She wasn't like, oh, I can't do it while it was happening. But you're just sitting there like, is it going to be close? No, it wasn't. And that, I think, surprised me more than anything. It must have been the pressure that got to her or something. This entire situation flustered her big time, and she did not perform. She didn't to the moment. And that, I'm not saying that's her, like, that's a bad, but that's just, it's tough to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't excuse anything. I don't want to say that, but yeah, it was just interesting to watch, I think.
Have you heard the theory at all that she intentionally threw it?
No.
Okay, so there's been a theory going around that I think with a couple different clues. One of the big ones I've seen is the key she wore around her neck in a lot of the DRs. I think her exit interview, I believe. But the theory has been thrown out that she herself is the mastermind. Okay, and this is all part of it. That she was allowed to play Big Brother, whatever, do her thing, make it to jury, and now she's just going to be the mastermind. And I think now, like, there are some clues I think that like do add up, but I think you can make a lot of clues add up if you try hard enough, right? That's like how conspiracy theories work. But I think this is a lot of people just trying to justify why she was so bad at the competition as well. It's like there's no way anyone could be this bad unless they intentionally threw. So if that is the case, one, I think that's going to be a pretty dumb twist and reveal. But that could potentially change a lot of strong feelings that people have now. But until that happens, I think we should still have these strong feelings against the competition.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. First of all, it would surprise me. It like you were saying, it connects some dots. It wouldn't be the most outrageous thing ever. I think it would still like taint the season as a whole as like a Big Brother season because you had an outside factor the entire time that wasn't communicating through the screen, was in the house having conversations, turning people's feelings on people. And I think there being a returner in the game does that in general. But if they're playing and they get a chance to win, then it's more. I don't know. Maybe that. I don't know how I feel about that. It doesn't seem likely. I don't think that would. I think people would still be mad.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe alumni would be more okay with it if Rachel was in on it, and it's like, oh, she didn't get screwed over. This was part of the plan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Here's my other question about this twist. And I don't know how much more I have to say about it. I think we're in agreement on a lot of it. But when this season is over, does this at all change how we view the winner of this? Because here's why I say that. I don't think I believe Rachel had a great shot to win the game. Okay, I'm not saying she would have, like, she had her clear path to get to the final two, right? And even if she did, would she have the votes? I don't know. I'm not saying that, but I think it's undeniable how much control she had of this game. She is one of two people, the other one being I think Lauren, who has not touched the block this season. It didn't seem like she was going to, and every single HOH up until this point, she was up there. Now, did she always get her way? No. Was she always able to convince them to do what she wanted? No. But, like, she was active, she was in their ear, and somehow kept herself off the block. So, assuming she does last another couple weeks, like, she would have had impact on this game. So let's say, like, someone like Vince ends up winning this season. How strong do we view that win, knowing that, like, one of his biggest threats got out on a twist like this and didn't really have to do much about that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. I don't know. It would be interesting because I don't think Vince was trying to take Rachel out with his twist necessarily, but like he was part of that decision making process and everything. So him specifically, and maybe some of the people in that decision process. But overall, I don't think I would treat it because we've talked about Big Brother 13. There's a game that Rachel won,
Yeah.
and the Pandora's box that she got that some people view as like a negative, like they were giving her an advantage, a bigger advantage than she should have had in the game. It felt unfair. A part of me wonders if I don't think it'll be treated like that necessarily, but that is like an interesting thing that I thought of, where in that game people say her game is negative because she benefited from something like that, and in this game she did not, and therefore lost.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it would be taken into consideration similar to that. But also like it would be hard because a character or a player like Vince specifically, since that's the one you gave, or even Keanu or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Like they also survived the house with Rachel, where she was like actively going after Vince for a while, but they were able to get on each other's side. So I don't know. It's definitely going to come into consideration, and I think it'll knock them down a few notches for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so complicated because you can only play the game of Big Brother that you're given, and sometimes that includes luck, and so that's always a piece that you have to consider.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it absolutely does. And I think it's just like when you look at the history of Big Brother winners, most of the ones that are more discussed as far as like, well, they didn't have the strongest game, it's the ones with major twists. So like I think Rachel's a great example.
Mm-hmm.
Evil Dick,
Mm-hmm.
another one, because it was the America's player, right? Was that what it was called?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that like benefited him a lot. There's Jordan in season 11, where Jeff had the
Coup
Koopa de Toop or whatever it's called, you know?
Yeah, Koopa
Like,
the Toot.
Big advantage towards her.
That's just a Mario character farting.
You got Jag, who was literally evicted from the house.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people bring that up when discussing how strong his game was. So I do think, unfortunately, this twist doesn't like affect one player. It kind of affects them all. In whoever wins, I think we might point to this week and be like, well, but would they have won if Rachel would have stayed a couple more weeks? And I don't know. I think like that's the biggest difference. Because like, let's say Kelly goes out in this twist. I don't think we're having the same conversation because she wasn't as influential this season.
But I think it would go both ways, where say Ashley wins now, and did she benefit from Rachel being in the house for so long? You know what I mean? Like, she benefit from her going out, which lowered her threat level. Like, I think depending on who wins, it will affect
Sure.
how you would contextualize that, I think.
Yeah.
Obviously one of your biggest allies going out to help your game. It would help the other side, but like, yeah, or do you look at Ashley's game more highly because she lost her ally towards the end or something? So yeah, I think it's interesting how that would affect it.
Yeah. No, that makes sense a lot. And either way, I think what this means is we have an easy out or an excuse for if we don't like the winner, we can just blame it on this, right? So that's good.
Oh yeah,
it's good for us.
I think we might disagree on what winner we would enjoy, but anyways, actually, I don't know if I'd love any of them as a winner.
I was gonna bring that up at some point. Looking at who's left, I don't know if I want any of them to win.
No, but someone's gotta. It's tough. It's tough though, because I feel like I've spent a good chunk of the season. The early season, I remember people being like, "This season sucks," and that's because the first 2 weeks or 3 weeks, all the same people went up every week, but none of them went home, which we thought made it interesting. And then eventually, I was like, "No, this season's fun. You guys are just mad that you don't love any of the people in the house, and that's fair." So I started becoming this like apologist for like, "No, it's good. It's actually a good season, and I'm having fun." And then this has to happen, and now I'm just like, yeah, this season stinks. Like, what are you gonna do? I've still had a lot of fun, and I think that will always paint these seasons, like how I felt at the time watching it. Like, I still think that the people left will be interesting in the end game. But yeah, it's tough that now we can't be excited about this season anymore.
It's really tough. And I was even like, I was really hoping. I was like, can we have like a battle back or something, or like, can there be
Hmm.
just like one extra level of like safety for her? Because it's not even that like I'm not the biggest Rachel fan. I certainly I think enjoy her more than like you, but it's not even like about that. It's just like
Wow,
this
that's a
feels
personal shot. You don't like me that much?
yeah, that's what I meant by that. But it's more just like the principle of it. It was like, oh, this feels just icky to root for anyone, knowing that like one of the potential front runners like just got screwed. So I don't know. I definitely have people I like more than others. Is it is it
As at
weird
the
to
end,
say
I would love
like
to hear your 7 ranked who you want to win.
who I want to win? Okay,
So
I could do
just
that
be thinking
easy.
about that as the episode goes on. I'd be interested to hear yours.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think one thing that would be, ooh, what was I thinking? There was something interesting with it that I wanted to mention. Okay, yeah, this is just this is the whole game in general, and then we'll get into like players and what they've been doing
Yeah.
since then.
Mm-hmm.
We have for years complained about how slow the end game is, how
Mm-hmm.
boring it is, whatever. And this season, we went into final 9 with like 23 days left. And now we've eliminated 2 people this week. This next week, they've said is a double eviction. I've heard rumors that, or not rumors, but like theories that it's actually going to be a surprise triple. And that's what the mastermind is going to do. And so we're taking this end game that used to feel super long and boring, and we're really consolidating it and picking people off pretty quickly. Do you like that? Obviously, saying this last twist wasn't
Yeah.
what it was. Take that out of it, but just the how they're picking up the pace of the game. Do you think that? And it's early on, so we can't really tell yet. But I think it's interesting, and I'm excited about it.
No, I for sure am. Because I do think it it makes it just more exciting because I think like the biggest thing it's not even that it's slow as in like oh 1 week for every person, but I think it's at the part of the game where such little shifts where
Mm-hmm.
people are pretty established where it's like we do know who the HOH is this week and I can almost guarantee you who at least 2 of his 3 nominees are going to be, right? So it's like
Mm-hmm.
that's the part that I think needs to be sped up, especially for people that keep up with the live feeds, because you just have 3 days of nothing. And so,
Mm-hmm.
no, I think it's gonna be good, and I think if we can somehow wash off this like twist and try to our best to like forget it and move on, I think the end game could be interesting because there is still
Mm-hmm.
a lot of fluid alliances. There's a lot of just open-ended relationships and a lot of diverse gameplay as well as
Mm-hmm.
far as like there could be a variety of different like I could think of like 4 different archetypes of social floater competition beast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like anyone could win, so I do think this endgame's going to be really interesting. I do kind of hope they like don't do a triple immediately next week, like maybe a double and then like another double sometime. um
Mm-hmm.
or I always like the
We only
surprise
have
evictions.
like two 16 days left, I think, is what it
That's
is.
crazy.
Or no, the 28th. How long is what's today? 12th? Yeah, 16. I did that math right. Yeah, so it's coming up quick. We'll
I
only
gotta
have
pull up a
2
calendar.
regular live Thursday live evictions and then a Sunday finale.
That is actually insane.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I actually don't know how they're gonna fit all that. Okay. I don't think I
Which is
fully
why I think
processed.
people are suspecting a potential double or triple. Or she said double, expecting a
Uh-huh.
potential triple.
That would be exciting. Was All Stars the only time that we saw a triple on the US? I know Canada has done it a couple times. I think that was it,
I
right?
believe so.
Mm-hmm.
And then they spoiled it because they had her background said triple when they didn't even get to
Yeah,
announce it.
of course they did. Well, and I think like that season was such a boring one for that to happen on because you just had the competition people just picking off, the extras. So
Hmm.
like it just I don't know, sped up the inevitable, I guess, which wasn't as exciting. But like this season could be fun because I think every single person would have a different set of nominees if they won HOH. So to just like see that immediately, to like force Lauren to have to make a decision, you know, like within 30 seconds, like first off, impossible. She would probably quit the show, but like that's what we need to see.
Hey, she stuck to her guns this week a couple times. Like putting up Morgan and even though Vince didn't want her to.
I'm so proud.
She was
of
still
her.
indecisive, but she stuck to her guns a little bit, I would say.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think one of the best parts about this season though is like, so you mentioned season 22 and how it wasn't interesting because there were comp beasts who just kind of dominated those. That makes me think well-rounded players just aren't fun, because I think those were comp beasts who knew the decisions they needed to make. But any comp beast we have this season is kind of a moron. Any social threat we have this season can't win anything to save their life. Anybody who has like strategic mind and willing to make moves, just isn't putting those opportunities. And the people who do win those things just are too scared to do them, or you know what I mean? Like Keanu's a comp beast for sure, but he just doesn't know it just doesn't make such interesting decisions, such foolish decisions, it seems a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And he's so blinded by what he thinks is right. I just don't get it.
Well, and I think you're also underselling the main theme of this season of why it's more interesting is that they're all just bad at the game. Like truly.
Yeah.
I don't again, I think I still kind of stand by default. Ashley might be the best player in the house.
Yeah.
But like on 22, you did have a bunch of people who like knew the game and knew the correct decision, and unfortunately there was a correct decision. You know, like there was a correct way to win the game. And it just came down to luck of the draw for like a couple competitions, right? Where this one, the people who are in power seem to be the worst at it.
Yep.
It's just like that's what makes it exciting, is because it's like, oh, are they going to nominate their ally again? All right, go for it. And then you have the
Let's
people,
see what happens.
You have the people who like don't win as much or at all that seem to be sitting the best. So I don't know, man. It's a weird season, but again, I think outside of dumb twist, I'm still enjoying it. Like the social elements are fun and messy, and like I said, all the social elements of the White Locusts, like it was really fun. It was really fun watching them scramble, and really fun to see once again no one listening to Rachel, even though she kind of figured out like what to do and how to execute it, and they're like, no, I don't think so.
Let's dig into this stuff. Let's get into it because I'm interested. So obviously, do we want to start with Vince or Ava picking Vince? And that starts with Rachel and the arm pull. I gotta know your take on the arm pull.
You know, I think there is just a long list of evidence now that Ava just doesn't. I don't
won't
know
take it.
I mean, like,
she won't take crap.
Is this like the third or fourth time she's kind of blown up on someone because they've slightly rubbed her the wrong way?
Some of them are fair, like Keanu. That's fair. Getting pulled would be annoying. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And Ava, yeah, I'll let you finish. Sorry. I'll let you go.
No, I mean, I think that's all it is like clearly, because like in my mind, it wasn't an aggressive thing at all for Rachel to do. You know, like annoying, sure.
Yeah.
Worth like, because apparently, like as far as I know, up until that point, her and Rachel were still pretty tight. You know, like they've had a final two pretty early on. Like worth just completely ignoring your ally because she did this one thing in a moment of like panic and chaos. Like, put yourself in Rachel's perspective. Like, hey, we have like 10 minutes to come up with a plan. We got to go now. And it's like, whoa. I don't like the way you're handling this. Like, you're, you know, you seem like kind of a lot right now. It's like, yes, it's a lot because it's a twist that someone's going to be eliminated like tonight. I don't know. Like, Ava, you gotta check your emotions here and think with your head, because I don't think her game benefited from Rachel going home.
No, I certainly don't think it did either. Um. So you tell me if I'm just being blinded by me disliking Rachel here, because
Okay.
I don't think what you said is incorrect. I think just pulling her, not the end of the world. Rachel felt like she was trying to felt like she was trying to dictate what was going to happen. She was going to tell Ava what she should do, and Ava had to do that. And when she like pulled her and then took her into a room and then like, get out of here, Keanu, I'm talking to her, and Ava has no say in picking who she gets to talk to. Like, she's the one with the power in that moment. And to me, it felt like potentially Rachel could have just been like, no, I know what to do. You don't know what is best. And so I'm going to tell you what you need to do and tell you what is best because I'm Rachel and I know stuff. Could you see that potentially being something that rubs somebody the wrong way, or am I just reading
I
negative into it?
I could. I completely understand why someone would not enjoy that. However, I think Rachel was right. And I think Rachel has
Yeah.
been right in those moments
Mm-hmm.
where
And her picking Vinny, she didn't make that. She picked Vinny just, I think she said because he's friends with everybody. So seeing who he'd have to pick would be interesting.
sure.
I'm not saying that was the right move, but being like, frick you, like, don't tell me what to do. I can see that. That affecting your decision making, that's why she's a bad player. Because
Yes.
she lets the
Yeah.
emotional frick you. But like, I definitely understand the like, I understand you've played this before. And then she left and she's like, these newbies are stupid. Then nobody listened to me. She has experience for sure. Nobody likes to hear that they're, or it to be implied that they don't know what they're doing and they're idiots. And I feel like she may have done that a decent amount.
Sure. Like there could have been a better way to get your point across and get Ava to do what you felt like she needed to do.
And Rachel was definitely panicking, which is understandable to be panicking when you've done. She was playing a phenomenal game, phenomenal social game, and then feeling like your game might end because of that. But
Well,
yeah.
and I think she was probably the only one who picked up on like what this twist would be or how to strategize according to it, right? Because like we saw this on Reindeer Games, and I guarantee you Rachel watched that. I can't say for sure if anyone else in the house did. Like truly, like I just don't know because again, it's really hard. Apparently, Lauren, who's supposed to be a big super fan, apparently she only watched Thursday Night Evictions with her mom for like 3 years. Like that's kind of the
Oh, really?
level of yeah. So it's like it's impossible to know
didn't
how
realize
much
that.
they actually watch, even though they claim they're super fans. But like Rachel, I think rightfully understood what this twist was and how to best like execute it to get like what they wanted. And so I think in her mind she was viewing like, hey, me and Ava, like we're together here. You're safe. You get the power right now. Fantastic. Here's what we should do. Oh, Keanu, get out of here. Because again, recognizing Ava's not going to stand up in this, you know what I mean? Like these players aren't that blunt or bold. But I think in what Rachel probably felt like my role in this right now is to like help guide Ava. Ava viewed as a threat, and that's probably why she didn't listen to her. So like I do see both sides, although I think in hindsight now, you know, Rachel was probably right in that like I should go first.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. She should have gone first. And they could have set it up better. And apparently, she's awful at that kind of maze. And so that's
But I
that's how
think
it's
that but
gonna
like the
go.
question is like if she goes first and then fails, like then I think that's even more on her than if her going what
Yeah.
was it, fourth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I think she definitely still deserves some of the blame not being able to finish it, and you have to have some tact there, but yeah, it's definitely not all her fault or even maybe half her fault. I'm not going to do that. I just want like being frustrated with that, I could understand, and in an emotional moment when an emotional player has that reaction, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, that's Ava's decision. She picks Vinny.
Yeah.
We understand why she did whatever. Now Vinny has to pick between Lauren and Morgan because he's always going to have to pick between those two.
Always going to have to
What do you
pick between two women. Always trying to juggling
They're his closest allies.
a man
Whatever.
trying to juggle multiple women at once. It's a difficult thing that, you know, I feel for him, you know, like it's really tough to like have multiple relationships and you're trying to make everyone happy and no, you know, I get it.
It's wild.
I'm just saying I'm the more I see of this man, the more I convinced this is just a reflection of his life, the way he's playing this game. That's all.
I don't know. I think it's a challenge to balance allies who aren't necessarily working together.
And I'm saying that is a
And you're
great mirror of his life right now.
okay. That's crazy to just be like, "Yep, that's who he is as a person." But maybe
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
you might be. You don't know you're right. That's all I'm saying. You're just assuming.
I've seen what his girlfriend has to say about it.
Yeah, you know everything then. All right. Anyways, so I think he might have been right early on in the season, always going Morgan's side and turning on Lauren, because Morgan's definitely more upset than Lauren ever was about him making a decision against her.
Yeah.
Because this is the first time he actually went against Morgan for Lauren, and it was for both of them. Because I think he was right. He could convince Lauren to pick Morgan. He couldn't have done the other way.
Yes.
So Morgan's pissed.
She's pissed. I also find this a really funny parallel to Zach, who was also kind of juggling Lauren and Morgan, where Lauren, for the most part, was a little more neutral, but as far as like potential showmance, it seemed like Zach was more interested in her. And then Morgan was very bothered because she wanted Zach and noticed his attention going to her. So I do have to wonder if some of these emotions are coming from Morgan, this being the second time a male has chosen Lauren in the game over her. That's my thought.
That's fair. That's definitely possible.
Because I was like, wait a minute, where have I seen this Morgan getting a little bitter at Lauren before? Oh, that's right. A couple weeks ago.
And Vince is also just doing a good job of winning HOH after he turns on one of his allies, so they can't actually be mad. He's cooking when it comes to that.
He is. This man's timing of getting power at the absolute wrong time. Like, he covers
Picks Lauren and then Lauren wins.
Well, okay,
It makes
so
Morgan
here's
mad, but then he wins. It's
here's
crazy.
the thing. Like, typically you want to do one or the other. If you're going to continue to get power by competitions, you need to just be okay with having some enemies. He is not okay with having enemies, right? That's for sure.
Yeah.
The other aspect is, if you want to play nice, be everyone's friend, you should not be getting power, right? Because, like, let's say someone like Will, for example, he seemed to be liked by everyone, right? Like, that seems to be a big reason why he got voted out. He didn't have to win anything, so he could afford to be everyone's friend. Vince cannot have it both ways, and that's, I think, the biggest flaw to, like, his game right now, is that he is trying to get power and also trying to be everyone's best friend, and it's not working because he has yet to realize that by nominating people, by blindsiding people, by not choosing people, that doesn't make him feel great.
No. And it's even to like another extent, because he's had all of these alliances with other people, but I feel like since early on, Morgan and Lauren have been like his number two, his 1 and 2 people in whatever order.
Kelly
Honestly,
was at some
I don't
point
know
too.
what order. Kelly was for like the first 2 weeks, and then he forgot they had a final 2. So like, and he was close with Riley too. I feel like from the very beginning,
And
these two felt like
Zach
the two that he was closest to.
There was Ashley
maybe I'm
week
wrong.
1.
Maybe it's a misread.
There's Jimmy. Keanu?
But
Keanu was up there, you know?
yeah, but they've shut up. Vinny has been very close to both of them consistently, and they've been upset,
just those
but they've
two.
still worked together. All right, never mind. You know, I'm not even gonna say what I was
No,
gonna say.
I'm done. I'm done.
No,
Keep going.
that's we're moving on. But yeah, anything else from that section? From that, the politics of that.
No, I mean, I think that pretty much describes it perfectly. I think it's just like, it is hilarious that a lot of people were upset with Vince in this moment of like his decision here, but the fact that Lauren wins the HOH and now he has won HOH, it feels
You can't
like
do anything about it.
You can't do anything, and I do think it's gonna be enough time that whoever wins HOH next week, because like, I mean, they were talking like Morgan wants Lauren out. Keanu is ready to nominate Vince. Kelly has been saying for weeks now, if she wins HOH, he's going. Like, he has people who are targeting him, but unfortunately, I think enough time is passing that like whoever wins the next week, it might be too late. Like I hate to say it, but like he might find his way to the end now.
And honestly, like him and Lauren have won 5 of the HOHs.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've won a lot, those two specifically. So like if she wins again, if Morgan, like yeah, I feel like he has a good shot. This week it's set up perfectly. He'll at most have to nominate 4 people, and there are 2 people that he would be his 1 and 2, I would say at this point, because everybody else he's burned the bridges because he's lied to him. And he can easily keep them safe. So yeah, I don't know. The double eviction will be interesting because that's your opportunity to take a shot even if you're close to somebody. So I wonder if he will be the shot. Because Will, we didn't even talk about this yet. Will left the house and said that he thought Vinny was playing, like could convince everybody of anything and was playing a great game. Now the same thing was said of Mickey in like week 3. So we know what that actually means. But he seemed to think that Vinny had the best shot, which is very interesting coming from somebody who was in the house who seemed to have solid reads.
Yeah, I think it's also going to be dependent on how closely like you were attached to the situations that Vince is getting himself in
True.
trouble with. Like
True.
Will is someone that even if Vince was working against him, I don't think he cared that much. Rachel, I don't know. Like I want to feel like she'll be more fair, and like they did kind of end in an alliance together, so it's like hard to tell. But
he went against that alliance by choosing Lauren.
Yes, yeah. So like she could put a lot of blame there. But like if Morgan or like Kelly are sitting in the jury house or Keanu, I don't think they're gonna like Will could objectively look and be like, yeah, I was a little sloppy, but like you did what you needed to do to get to the end. I don't know if the others would feel like that. And that's where it's like his social game could work on Will, but maybe not everyone else.
Keanu is an interesting one. Keanu has the issue with his game where he's so reliant on competitions that that's the only thing that he sees as a valuable thing. And so like he's convinced that if he goes, Lauren is the next biggest target. He said that multiple times this week, and I don't understand why he thinks that's the case. I don't think anybody is voting for Lauren. Now, I don't think she's done absolutely nothing this game. She's won a couple HOHs. She's had to make decisions, but like she doesn't really have any allies. She has a couple, I guess, maybe. But like no one who's like
she's
their
getting
number
closer
one.
to like Ava.
Yeah.
And even like Kelly a little bit, I think, but almost more of like protection because I think they recognize the other relationships are stronger. So, I don't think it's like an official alliance, but I think it's like this fluid relationship where it's like, these are the people I want to protect.
But yeah, so it's just interesting because Keanu has this, it's this thing like when you have a certain way that you play the game, and I wonder if this like just expands generally, that's what you value most. So that's just how you vote. And so if you keep some comp beasts around to jury and send them to jury, you better hope you win competitions because that's what they're going to value. Which maybe that people have subconsciously done that. And I feel like we've subconsciously talked about that in the past when it came to jury votes. I can remember for Survivor, we're like, oh, Hunter won competitions. He's going to vote for somebody who won competitions. But I don't know. Maybe that's not the case. But yeah, he just said that multiple times. And it's just stunning how confident he is in these bad reads.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I'll give it to him. I've never seen a man more confident about anything in my life. Like, truly. Like when he has these conversations, he is like dead set. And maybe it's because he's so wrong that the confidence, like, because like if someone is confident and right, maybe it's not as noticeable. But when you're confident and is wrong, it's like, oh, you got confidence, It's like, that could be it.
It's got to be it.
But man, oh man, is he wrong a lot. And I love it.
Yeah, he is. He really,
but like,
really
here's
is.
another thing. Like, he's in a spot where there's not like that many more competitions left or weeks. Like, he could just win his way to the end. It is, like they
genuinely
might have missed their chance on him, which is kind of funny to think about.
So that's a phenomenal point because this week I think a lot of people gave Lauren crap online for making the decision to go after Keanu, who has a number for her. And to me, you're reaching the point where if there's an ally of yours who is playing a good game, you might have to take a shot. And I think that's what she do. I think it was a perfect play? No. Do I think it was a bad play because they're allies? Not necessarily, because I think Keanu is one of the front runners right now and somebody that you probably need to get rid of before you get to those final 3 spots.
Yeah, I do wonder though, because like winning, I think he could win his way to the end, but I think if, like, let's say Lauren, for example, like maybe keeping that number to help you get to the end if you think you could beat him. Because I think like that's going to be the interesting thing. Like if Keanu is in the final 2, like what does he have other than competitions and competitions that mostly kept himself safe? Like he has one HOH,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Which oh gosh, who did he get on his HOH? Was that Mickey?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It was
Okay.
Mickey.
So like, pretty good, but like I think like Lauren's competitions feel more uh game important or game related. I don't know how to, like, his were a lot of like blockbusters or like
Mhm.
vetoes when he was on the block. Lauren's was like, I won a veto and you used it to save my ally. I won the HOH twice. You know what I mean? So like I think
Mhm.
there is a world where keeping him for her would be a good decision because you're sitting at the end, you both have some competitions, he might have more, but like the importance or like of the competitions are better for her.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. I would definitely agree with that. I don't know if that's how the house would see it though. I think everybody's really scared of Keanu. And I think he's had that what was it, week 2 that he was like, I'm gonna take you out, I'm gonna take you out, I'm gonna take you out, I'm gonna take you out. And he hasn't taken people out, but he's survived and he's been the target many, many times. He's been on the block, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7 times. Probably 5, I think. I think I added a couple there.
Mm-hmm.
But a bunch of times. Like he's been up there a lot. And he's consistently survived and found a way to survive. But yeah, I think that's fair. I think from our perspective, I would agree that she definitely has an argument. I think everybody has an argument in the game, but I think the comp wins are the most visible thing that you can do in the game. So if you do comp wins, you can just be like, I won these comps and did these things. Everything else, you have to convince them that it actually happened, the strategy, the social.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
so I think he's a big target and would have been a big head mounted on her above her mantle of being like, I took Keanu out and nobody else could do that, and 5 other people tried.
Yeah. Yep. Like he went on my week. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's comparing them is also interesting because, and this is getting a little to like speculation of this week, but of like who Vince will nominate. Because Morgan has been kind of in his ear ever since he won of like, hey, you got to get Lauren up. If nothing else, to nominate her because she's the only one in the house who hasn't been on the block. And
Mm-hmm.
that introduces an interesting like comparison of like what is more valuable, Keanu, who has been on the block almost every week and survived, or let's say Lauren gets to the end having never been on the block. Like
Mm-hmm.
those are two very different stats that either could be convincing on which is more impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be an interesting duo for sure to see at the end. I just
Mm-hmm.
don't see the rest of the house respecting Lauren. Since her first HOH, everybody's talked about how it's really Vince in her ear. It's not her making decisions. So the I don't know. Recently, I feel like the house perspective has been huge for me. But then you learn that, like the week that we thought Zach was in the best spot in the house, and the next week he goes. Like we'll think that we know the perspective of the house, and then immediately learn the opposite. I think last week we probably talked about how Will go to a game Will was playing and how he couldn't like nobody was scared of him. Why has nobody nominated him yet? Now he's out of the house, and
Mm-hmm.
so I think it's partially just we're not full like watching the feeds constantly. And watching the feeds constantly, you're not going to know how people really feel. You'll just hear what they're comfortable saying to others.
Well, and like I think things just changed so much. So it's
Yeah.
like, was Will in a comfortable spot? Yes. I think it's just like pitting him up against Ashley might have been one
Mhm.
of the worst situations for him. Like let's say
Mhm.
he's sitting there up next to Keanu or Vince or Morgan, then it's a much
He's
more
staying every time. Yeah.
yeah. So I think like that
Him
that's
against
the
Ava would be interesting.
that would be interesting. Yeah. Uh yeah, that'd be interesting for sure. But I think like that's the I mean some of the best parts of this game, though, is like you can be sitting in the best position possible, but you get rolled a bad hand for the HOH this week, and the person who wins blockbuster, because I mean, like Lauren's 2 targets this week were Morgan and Keanu, and both of them won competitions. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
not much more she really could have done. Like I
Yeah.
think her execution was like pretty good. My only yeah, I don't even know. Like, I really don't know, like, what she could have done better. Like, maybe you nominate Keanu up front,
Mm-hmm.
but then it's like either way, the two of them are going to have 2 chances to win to keep themselves safe. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know if that's worth getting into, but like that's another conversation to have of like the blockbuster going this long because last season it was done already,
Mm-hmm.
and I do think it probably will end after next week.
I hope so.
I think
I
it should
hope
have
that the
ended
double eviction
already.
shouldn't have it. Yeah.
It feels like just numbers wise, like it's not a good balance anymore.
I agree, but I also think it's forcing the HOH to really make difficult decisions at the end of the game when the decisions matter most. And so like, oh, are you gonna take this shot? Oh, your target missed. You better have a list of who you're shooting for.
Yeah.
If it ended early, would I have been mad? No. A part of me also wonders, should it start later? I was thinking about that the other day. Like, because having it so early, it makes it easy to just nominate the same people over and over. But if you just have 2 people that you're nominating for the first few weeks, and then something changes and you throw the blockbuster at them, I wonder if that would be different at all. But
Yeah, that could
or if
be.
every week, I've thought about every week if there was like a flip of the coin, like 50-50 chance of whether you're nominating 2 or 3 people. So you have to
Oh,
adjust your game based on the week.
yeah. That's kind of fun. Yeah, because it is like I mean I think the blockbuster is still valuable. I think a big difference from last season is they definitely have gamed it out a little bit more, the players that is, as far as
Mm-hmm.
like they know their options, right? If this person
Yeah.
wins blockbuster, this is who we're voting for. If this where last year it felt like a little bit more scramble is like night of eviction, but I do think that makes it still makes it more enjoyable for us as the viewers where I legitimately have felt like every episode is kind of a must watch in some way or
Mm-hmm.
another, where the issue was by Monday afternoon, because like that's when the veto ceremony happens on the live feeds, like you knew who was going home. So you had 3 days of nothing. The Wednesday and Thursday night episodes were kind of nothing. But like the
Mm-hmm.
blockbuster does leave a little last minute like, oh, I legitimately I didn't watch the episode live last night, but when I turned it on, I had no idea who could go home. I really
Mm-hmm.
didn't. It could have
Mm-hmm.
been any 3 of them.
Yeah, if Keanu was in the block, I was sure he was going, but between Ashley and Will, I had no idea.
Mhm. Yeah. What other players should we talk about that we haven't? Did we talk
That's a
enough about
great
Vince's
question.
game? I think he is he the
Think
star
so.
of this season?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Rachel. Rachel probably is more than him, but it's either him or Keanu. I think after her, I
Yeah,
would say.
I mean, like, I think Morgan is definitely a central player only because, like, she, even, like, her and Vince getting, like, real close, she kind of had a lot, she was close with Mickey for a while, but
Mm-hmm.
Morgan's game, I still cannot pin down. And there are a lot of moments where I feel like it's mostly emotional as far as, like, a lot of her decisions, but
Mm-hmm.
even if that's how she gets to those decisions, I don't think she's, like, wrong. Like when she
No.
wants Lauren out, like, oh, that's not a bad idea. Like the people she's working with. And I can't quite tell if she has had like a move yet that I've been like impressed by, but yet she like still is in the game
Mm-hmm.
and somehow still doing enough to keep herself safe.
She's attached herself to the right people, I think, is a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's connected with the side of the house that was like Rachel, Will, uh, Ashley. I almost said Amanda. That was a weird thing. Just completely forgot her name. So she's always been kind of associated with that side of the house, right? But then she has Vince, who is also associated with the other side and can like keep her safe a little bit, even though he's not loyal to that side at all, apparently. Like, having Vince as your closest ally, he's just such a lightning bolt and will do such wrong things, but apparently can convince anybody of anything, according to Will. That it's almost like in traders when you're really close to a trader, and so that trader is going to keep you safe, but that doesn't they might not be good at the game, but they can keep you safe for a while. I feel like it's something like that, you know?
Yeah, no, that's valid. I like that. I'm just there's like really part of me that wants to see either more like honestly like one of them to go home because like I'm so curious how they would play this game separate from each other. Like what would
Yeah.
Morgan do? And I kind of want to see her in that like moment where I need to readjust my entire game because now Vince is gone. Like I think that'd be like really
Mhm.
exciting, and I would want to see someone like her do that. However, I think we'll have to wait a couple weeks if at all that happens.
Who would you say is Morgan's like, other than Vince, who are her like closest allies, do you think?
I mean, like by like maybe Ashley because of the judges. Because like Morgan, in
I
my
guess.
mind, is one of the strongest proponents for the judges. Like when I think of the judges,
Mhm.
like it's her talking about it. I don't know how
Mhm.
seriously Vince took it. I don't know how seriously Rachel took it. Will and Ashley seem to just be like social and not in a position to like rock the boat. But
It was
Morgan,
convenient for those four, but it was Morgan's baby, it felt like.
yes, she was the one that needed it for protection. So I do wonder like are her and Ashley close enough outside of that alliance? I don't know, but like now at this point, like does Ashley need her? Maybe. You know, so like I would assume
Mhm.
it's Ashley.
Yeah, that feels right. I just occurred to me, and maybe because Rachel and Will are now gone, Ashley would consider Morgan her number one. That's definitely on the table. But I was thinking, like, is there anybody in this game other than Vince who like will fight to keep Morgan safe? And I think it really might only be Ashley at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting to see her game, and I feel like nobody is viewing her as a super close ally, even though she's like, "Oh, the judges, those are my people." And it's like, well, kind of, but you're like third on their pecking order or second, you know?
Yeah, and I also think like she doesn't come across as like a big enough threat, which is interesting because it's like almost everyone in the house, I think, other than like Vince and Keanu, the rest of them like don't even like they've never really been the main target. I guess like
Mm-hmm.
Lauren did kind of want Morgan out last week, but
Kelly was for a bit, but I know what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah, I don't. So like it's so interesting because it's like at what like what would it take for someone to be like Ava's my main target? What would it take for me
Mm-hmm.
like Ashley's my main target? You know, like those
Mm-hmm.
just feel like very odd scenarios that we're gonna have to reach, but it's like fascinating to even think how we could get there.
Yeah, because this week I feel like those two are some of the first two to go on the block. I don't know, maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Ava will be fine. I think Ashley's for sure going on the block. I think Keanu's probably going on the block, and Kelly. I think it's those are probably the three would be my guess. But
I think
ooh,
he
disagree.
I just I got a little catch up on the feeds this morning of like what was going on last night. I think they might get to him and he might put Lauren up. Morgan is pushing it real hard. Keanu's pushing it real hard. And I think it's gonna come down to whoever talks to Vince last because Vince is such a people
Yeah.
pleaser, and if the two of them are going that hard, and now he might come up with for an excuse for Lauren, she might be okay with it, but and a lot of it is like, at least for Morgan, her big. Well, she does want Lauren out. She's not telling Vince that, but like a big reasoning is they don't want her to have this perfect game of not going on the block ever.
Mm-hmm. Looking at it currently, Vince is talking to Lauren, and she said, "What are you thinking for initial noms?" And he said, "Ava, Kelly, Keanu."
Interesting.
So yeah, that's what he's thinking.
So
And
maybe he's even protecting Ashley still for the judges.
Maybe. Yeah, that's interesting because they don't seem close, but maybe that's he didn't directly. No, he voted out Will, but it was just protect her, and so there might be value there that he like saved her, and he's going for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think like Ava and Kelly are the obvious options because those are the people that like are actively going against him. Everyone
Mhm.
else like hasn't taken a direct shot, so it's hard to. Well, Keanu did teach him a lesson, so there was
Taught
that.
him that lesson, dude. He taught him that lesson big time.
Seemed like he learned.
He learned. He definitely learned from that lesson. All right, I think that's all I got. I feel like we're just speculating now, which I mean is still fun, but
Wow, you don't enjoy speculating, huh?
I said it's still fun. Literally said those words. But I want to hear your 7,
My 7.
unless you have something else.
Well, I was just gonna say I do like how we still have 2 people left each in the game, in our draft, and they seem to be like
Pretty safe.
all 4 of our people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also I think playing a lot of different games. Like I got Ava and Lauren who just feel
Mhm.
somewhat comfortable. Like if they go, it's just gonna be random. And then you got like Vince and Morgan who feel like much more active and much more like I don't know. It will make sense when Vince goes out. I think it'll just make sense. Like, oh yeah, it was his time. When
Yeah.
Ava goes out, that's gonna feel random. I don't know if that makes sense, but
No, it does. That definitely is what it feels like for sure. They'll be like,
uh-huh.
"Oh, she got stuck next to somebody else who people wanted to save." Like not
She just
she
didn't have the
do
votes.
anything.
Got unlucky with
Yeah.
this, combination of nominees. Yeah. Okay. I think here's my ranking, and this is again the ranking that you said, who I want to win, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is not who I think will win. This is not who I think is playing the best game. None of that.
Yep.
Number 1. Do you have your list too? Are you going to be doing this, or is this just me? Is that...
No, we'll do. No, just you. No, I'll do it too.
Number 1, Ashley.
Okay.
I want Ashley to win the game. I really do.
Yep.
Number 2, I think I would go with Morgan.
Okay.
I think that could be fun. Number 3, I'll say Ava. Number 4, Lauren. 5, Keanu. 6, Kelly. 7, Vince.
Mine is the complete opposite. No, it's not.
Some of the middle, I'm not as. Ashley is for sure my number 1.
Yeah.
Vince and Kelly
Yeah.
for sure my bottom 2. I think that's the strongest I stand.
Okay. I can see that, definitely. I think I would probably go. I don't know. I think I don't really want any of them to win. But I think I'd go Keanu, Morgan, Vince, Lauren, Ashley, Ava, Kelly.
That feels pretty different.
Yeah.
We both have Kelly low. We both have Morgan somewhat high, but Keanu
Yeah.
number 1, huh?
Yeah. When I picture this season, I picture Rachel, Keanu, and Vince. Those are like the 3 faces that feel the. If I'm going for like the most representative of the season, and there's something about just how like messy he is, but like so confident, and he's picked everybody off.
Mhm.
I mean, that would be kind of cool to call that the first like week and then do it. Now I know he just survived a lot of the time and just out survived them, but
I think my logic is more of like less of representative, but more of like what type of game would I want to be rewarded with this season? And I think that's where it's like I have Vince last because it's like I don't want that to be a winning game. I don't. Now, do I think
Yeah.
Ashley's playing like a great game? No, but I think it's more by default she has made the least amount of mistakes. Where if she wins the game, I could sleep well at night knowing like, oh, that was pretty good. Whereas like, I don't know, Keanu to me, we're gonna look at like, oh, he won
Yeah.
competitions and he's the winner.
I suppose if I'm thinking type of game, Lauren might be higher. Maybe not.
I don't.
Maybe not the indecisiveness is the only tough thing.
That's it for
But,
me.
like the
Yeah.
couple times she's won, and like the things that she's done, she's saved it, like she's done the right things, but it's so wishy-washy. It's how she's done it that just doesn't feel right or appropriate.
Okay, real quick. Here's what I need some of them to do. Okay, if Lauren can just hold her own, turn on Vince last minute and say this was my game the entire time, boom, great winner. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan, I want to see her win HOH. I want to see Vince cut early, not even by her necessarily, but I want to see Vince gone. I want to see her win HOH, make a move to show me that like she doesn't need to rely on him. Great game. Okay. Ashley gets some kind of power. I think her social game's really good. I generally think she has like good reads. I think if she can win HOH,
yeah,
like not even make a
she
decision,
hasn't
but
made
like
a decision. That's not fair.
Like get some power.
Make it, get power and like do something. Yeah, is what
I think
mean.
she has one veto. Yeah, she has
the
a veto.
first one.
Yeah. So pretty good, but like you need something else.
But
also
put yourself in that position even though he had no reason to put her up.
Vince, I don't know. I think he's lost for me.
That's fair.
I'm
definitely higher on him than you are, obviously, but I understand the criticisms.
I might be taking it personal too. I just don't really like him.
Yeah, I can tell.
Justice for Kelsey, man. That's all I gotta say.
I was like, who's Kelsey? I was like, there's no one Kelsey on this season. I know.
Oh yeah, he shouts her out every vote.
Mm-hmm. He loves her.
He very much loves her.
He wins the $750,000 and loses his girlfriend.
Here's the thing, though. I do like. There's like this dark side of me. It's not like comparable to like the Jackson situation, but like walking out, winning $750,000, and then realizing like, oh, people hate me. Like, that's kind of something I wouldn't mind witnessing. That's very mean of me, but like,
that's so mean.
And like. Personal.
I don't want this to happen to any of these people. That's so mean.
It's good television. That's all I'm saying. That's good TV.
Golly.
It's going to happen either way. He's going to walk out of this house without a girlfriend, and people are going to dislike him. Might as well give him some cash. That's all I'm saying.
All right. That's fair.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope. That's all I got.
All right. For more episodes, you know where to find us. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere listen to podcasts. We are on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube at NJBpod. That's at NJBpod. I'm Nathan. This is Tony, and we'll see you next week for a double.
Shout out all my dogs at the crib.